Avarana Samprapti demands a different approach, and also Dhatukshaya Samprapti demands a different approach. So we need to clearly bifurcate between these two and then only start the treatment. Coming to the next factor, next slide please. Samprapti of Pakshaghata. We have to consider three important factors over here. The common Samprapti of all the Vata Vyadhis, Samprapti of Ardita, and also Samprapti of Pakshaghata. So Samanya Samprapti of Vata Vyadhi says that Dehe Srotamsi Riktani Purayitva Anilo Bali. Dehe Srotamsi Riktani. The Rikta word has to be understood very clearly, which means to say Tuchani, which has declined from its excellence. Tuchha, it has become damaged. So damage to any dhatu, any srotas happens when it is devoid of its original qualities. Original quality of the dhatus are sneha, madhura, pichila, gunas. If we go except asti, these are the original quality of all the dhatus. So sneha the unashunyani. When the dhatus get devoid of, declined of these sneha the gunas, they lose their excellence. And that is why vata fills in over there whenever there is a negative balance of the factors. So rikta, which has to be snehadi guna shunya, means there is a negative balance in the dhatu factor. There is a negative balance in the tissue. There is some component which is deficient in this tissue, and that deficiency itself is the place for vata prakopa. So tuchha, which has declined from its quality and which has given space by creating a negative balance by his own ahara vihara etc factors, and then the vata prakopa happens, and that prakopita vata fills in those negative balance areas, and vata vyadhi is created, manifested, which may pertain to some ekanga, or which can involve the entire body, sarvanga. Then we have to also understand another factor, that is grahitva ardham tanor vayuhu. Grahitva ardham tanoho vayuhu. This is audible. Is it audible? Someone please answer.
Hello, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, you are audible now.
Okay, some technical glitches there. I don't understand what is happening. Okay. Grahitva ardham tanoho vayuhu. Vayu affects half part of the body. Tiras nayur vishoshya cha. It affects or declines the quality of stira and snayu. There is one word used, shosha, vishoshya. So shosha is a very specific factor wherein ruksha guna vriddhi happens in the dhatus. And ruksha guna vriddhi happens in the padam sankochayati ekam hastam va toda shulakrit. In half part of the body, ekam hastam va padam. One hand or otherwise one limb, lower limb is affected, and Sira Snayu Vishoshana of this particular limb is affected, and that particular limb which is affected suffers karma hani, and that is called as ekangavata. If the similar manifestation happens in all the limbs, all over the body, covering majority of the body parts, then it is considered as sarvangavata. So similar pathology goes in with pakshagata and ekangavata and sarvangavata. Next slide, please. Then coming to Acharya Sushruta's explanation of Samprapti of Pakshagata, he is very clear in telling that he's the one who has used actually Dhamani word over here. And Dhamani word implies a meaning of nerve actually. It is not the artery which is generally considered. Sira, Snayu, Dhamani, which have been used variably or interchangeably for nerve, artery, and veins also. He says, I have highlighted some of the points over here. Adhogamaha, they are the structures he is referring to. The dhamani are adhogamaha, they are moving downwards. Satyagaha, and they move all over, they spread all over the body by moving downwards, and then they spread all over the body, actually which are located urdhva dehagaha, in the uppermost portion of the body. This is the clear indication that he is referring to central nervous system. He is the one who has mentioned there is urdhva deha which is affected. Urdhva deha is shiras. So shiras is the adhisthana over here. Shiras is affected, and a structure which is originating from the shiras, which he refers to as dhamani, which is moving downwards. Maybe we have to consider it as brainstem and the various roots which originate from the brainstem and the spinal canal. So this gives a clear indication that the pyramidal and extrapyramidal system which is affected by. Then Matarishva Prapadyate, he uses another word Matarishva also for Vata here. And another important factor he mentions is Anyatara Pakshasya. Anyatara is contralateral manifestation. Anyatara is referring to a manifestation which actually happens in the cerebral stroke. Okay, so left side lesion leads to right sided manifestation and vice versa. So he clearly mentioned this that Pakshagata manifests as a contralateral disorder. So Adhisthana is in the Shiras, left side Shiras is affected, and right side manifestation is seen. This is a clear indication that a stroke has been explained by Sushruta. Then he says Hanti Paksham, only one half of the body is affected. Paksha always is referred to a longitudinal half, not the horizontal half. So Hanti Paksham Tamahurhi Pakshagatam Vishagvara. So he clearly says that contralateral manifestation, which involves half sagittal portion of the body, leads to Sandhibandha Vimokshana. Sandhibandha Vimokshana word refers to inability of a postural maintenance, that is motor deficit, or otherwise which could be even a sensory deficit, which he goes on continuing in the next loka. Yasya kritsnam sharirardham, entire half of the body is affected. So entire vertical half of the body is affected, and by this affliction, there is a neurological deficit is clearly mentioning that akarmanyam achaitanam. Akarmanyam refers to a motor deficit, and achaitanam refers to a sensory deficit. And he further continues, patati, he falls down. That means to say that he falls unconscious. And he cannot maintain his posture at all. Patati. He is not able to maintain any motor ability in his body. Asunva apitajati. So he may die also because of that. So this is a clear indication or the severity of the disease, what happens. Coming to Vagbhata's version, who summarizes up or completely joins everything together and mentions grahitva ardham tanor vayuhu, half portion of the body is involved. Paksham anyataram hanti, contralateral manifestation. Kritsno ardhakayasya, half portion of the body is affected, entire half is affected, and this is called as ekanga roga. It can manifest as a monoplegia or one a limb affected, or otherwise it can manifest as a pakshavadha, entire half of the body is affected, which we generally call as hemiplegia. Then ardhe tasmin mukhardeva kevale syat tadarditam. This is the version of Acharya Charaka. He says, while explaining about ardita, he says ardita we should not consider as a facial palsy alone. According to Sushruta, Acharya Sushruta, we can say, we have to say it is facial palsy, particularly lower motor neuron palsy. And according to Charaka, we have to say it is either half portion of the body, half sagittal portion of the body, and which may involve kevale mukhardeva, entire half of the body, or only facial half. So that is Ardita according to Acharya Charaka. So he also involves Ardita as a clear stroke manifestation itself, not just one facial half or partial manifestation. He clearly says that it is stroke manifestation involving half portion of the body. Type of manifestation of Pakshagata. Coming to the next slide. So after learning the Samprapti, let's see in what way Pakshagata can be manifested. It is manifested as a Kevala Vatajanya or Shuddha Vatajanya if Vata Prakopa happens not involving other factors, Vata alone involved. Next slide, please. Then it is Kevala Vatajanya. Then it is Nirupastambhita, or we have to consider it as hemorrhagic stroke, because Dhatukshaya is also present there and Vata alone is involved. There is no Avarana. Some second point is, some category is Samsarga Doshajanya, wherein Anya Dosha Samsarga, Pitta, Kapha, Avarana is there, and Samanvita, it is associated with the other factor. Even that Samanvita factor can include Medas also. So there is Avarana leading to ischemia and infarction, so it is ischemic stroke. Kevala Vatajanya, hemorrhagic stroke. Samsarga Doshajanya, it is ischemic stroke. And the third variety is Kshaya Hetuka. Dhatukshaya is Prakarshena Dhatukshaya Janya, which is very predominantly present and which is caused by Shonita Atisrava, then maybe due to hemorrhages which have been caused due to injuries or any other factor, severe hemorrhage or subarachnoid hemorrhage, intraparenchymal hemorrhage, and which will lead to actually generalized or global hypoxia and leads to severe manifestation of stroke, Kshaya Hetuka. And second one is Balavad Vigrahadi Janya Matakopaja, wherein Shosha pathology works over there, which will lead to Marmaghata and leads to manifestation of Pakshagata. So Dhatukshaya, Shonita Atisravajanya, or Balavad Vigrahadi Janya Dhatukshaya have to be considered over here. Next slide, please. Coming to the Samprapti Gatakas, Prana and Udana Vata are predominantly involved in Kevala Vatajanya, and in Samsargajanya, Pitta, Kapha, and Medas also involved. Then Dushyas, there are many Dushyas here. It is not just Rasa or Rakta, Rasa, Rakta, Mamsa, Meda, Majja, and if higher mental functions are affected, which is not mandatory in all, if it is mentioned, if it is affected, then we have to consider it as consider manas also under dushyas. Then srotas are rasavaha, raktavaha, mamsavaha, and medavaha srotas. Then srota dushti, in ischemic variety, we have to consider sangha as srota dushti. In cerebral aneurysm, which leads to a different kind of manifestation, it is siragranthi. And if at all it is hemorrhagic stroke, we have to consider it as vimarga gamanajanya. So we have to be very clear in understanding which is a srota dushti prakara, because chikitsa varies accordingly. And udbhavasthana, obviously it is pakvashaya, uh, because it is vata vyadi. Sancharasthana, urdhva, adha, and tiryak dhamani is because dhamani, urdhva adhogamaha has been mentioned. So it is not just rasayani, which we commonly write in all the diseases, which is like nidana, mityahara vihara. This kind of stereotype we have to change actually. So that's why I have written urdhva, adha, and tiryak dhamani as sancharasthana. Then adhishtana, shira or mastishka. Roga marga, obviously, it is madhyama roga marga. Dakshina or vama paksha is the Vyaktasthana. And if it is lacunar stroke, discrete anga pratyanga have to be considered. Like, for example, only aphasia, aphonia is present, then we have to be specific about that. Then Vyadhi Swabhava, it could be ashukari also, a sudden manifestation. We hear that suddenly the person develops strokes and dies also. So it is very quick in manifestation, which is a typical nature of vata vyadhi also. Atibalatvena ashukaritvat atyaikatvat we see. So it could be ashukari. If it is manifested due to dhamani pratichaya and becomes a very chronic manifestation, and TIA happens multiple times and then stroke develops, then it could be considered as chirakari also. So mortality and morbidity of the rogi has to be considered to say whether it is ashukari and chirakari. If mortality is considered, then it is ashukari, then morbidity is considered as chirakari. Next slide, please. Coming to the Lakshanas of Pakshagata, which has been almost covered already, I would like to highlight some of the points. Kritsam Sharirardham Akarmanyam Achetanam. Kritsam Sharirardham, entire half of the body is Akarmanyam. Akarmanya means to say motor deficit. Achetanam means to say a sensory deficit. Okay, and Ishat Dalana says or translates it as Ishat Karmakshaya, Akarmanyam as Ishat Karmakshaya. So there could be a parasis manifestation. It need not be a complete loss always. There could be a partial loss. So Ishat Karmakshaya is a possibility which we need to understand. We have to consider parasis also and plegia or paralysis also, both. Then Kriyam Ashaktau, the person is debilitated. He is losing its functioning ability of the activity. Then Ishit Cheshta Akshamo very clearly indicates, which is mentioned by Acharya Vijay Rakshita, clearly indicates there is motor deficit. Achetanam, na chetanam, Gayadasa says. Na chetanam, it is an indication towards involvement of indriyas. So there could be badhirya, there could be loss of taste, there could be vakstamba, there could be um, uh, anosmia. So all these are the possibilities in lacunar strokes or stroke with a major cover in the cerebral area. So achetanam, that particular indriya loss is present, and it could be a sensory tactile loss also. Vichetanam Ishat Sparshadi Jnana Yuktam. So there is altered sensation present, he says. Arunadatta says. Next slide, please. According to Acharya Charaka, he clearly, very specifically says about motor deficit, padam sankocheti ekam astam va. So by saying this, he says locomotion is affected. And other factors, other manifestations are Toda and Shula, which is an associated factor. The major manifestation is motor loss or locomotory loss, which is present in that particular organ which is affected, whether it is Ekanga Roga or Sarvanga Roga. That depends on the area which is involved in the Mastishka. अन्यतर पक्षस्य संधिबंधान विमोक्षयन्. Contralateral manifestation, sandhibandha should not be considered as joint over here. Exactly, the joint is not affected. Sandhibandha vimokshana has to be understood as the person fails to maintain the posture. So we need sandhi, we need different parts which are interjoined together to maintain the posture and accommodate different organs in our body. And all those sandhis, wherever two organs are meeting, whether it is ashaya, whether it is two bony edges, so all those sandhis could be affected, which we have to understand, because there could be paralytic ileus also due to stroke manifestation, which is again another important factor. Sandhi should not be just restricted to a joint, a bony joint. It is sandhi wherein two different structures are meeting. Cheshta nivritti, another word. Cheshta is actually a locomotory action or motor action. So nivritti, the person fails to do. And rujam vakstambhamevacha. Ruja is the Vedana Vishesha, actually, a pain or restlessness which is experienced by the person. Whenever the muscle area is affected, the person feels the pain, and Vakstambha. There is laryngeal branch which is paralyzed, and that is why the person is suffering from prana and udana affliction is there, and he is suffering from either aphonia or aphasia or dysarthria. Next slide, please. So Sarvangavata quadriplegia, Akshepa convulsions in hemorrhagic stroke, which is a very common manifestation. Mada, Murcha Sannyasa, stupor, coma, and syncope, variable categories. Moha, cognitive defect or higher mental functions affected. Then Adharangavata, paraparesis. Moka, Swarahani. Moka is aphonia, Swarahani, aphasia, and Gadgada is dysarthria. Chakshu Vibramsha is hemianopia. Akshini Milana is ptosis. These are all the manifestation. Ardita, Ekangavata, Sarvangavata, Akshepaka, Madamurcha Sanyasa, Moha, Adharangavata, Moka, Swarahani, Gadgada, Chakshu Vibramsha, Akshini Milana. All factors have to be considered, not just Anyatara Paksham Hanti. Then severity of the disease. It is not just a manifestation which cripples. It can kill also, because when we come to severity, even today, with after a lot of advancement in the science, even today the mortality rate for a person who, or people who are affected from stroke, the mortality rate is 40%. 35 to 40% is noted statistically. So severity is always a matter which need to be given attention. And in all the references, it is mentioned that pranaihi vimuchyate shigram, he leaves his lives. Then vikaran darunan kritva nashayanti ashu jeevitam. Immediately it kills the person, which is very commonly seen in hemorrhagic strokes. Nashayanti ashu jeevitam. Quickly it kills the disease. Maranam cha apadayati. These are all the references we get, which is a possibility even today. Then sadhya sadhyata. Next slide, please. I want the slides to be changed. We have completed this slide. Next slide, please. Sadhya sadhyata. Shuddha vata hatam paksham. Kevala Vatajanya is Krichra Sadhyatam, very difficult because Vata Vyadi itself is difficult. And Samsrishtajanya is better for the treatment. Kshaya Hetukam. This is what I categorized in the Veda also. Asadhyam Kshaya Hetukam, wherein severe um, dhatu kshaya is present, or subarachnoid hemorrhage, or intra parenchymal hemorrhage is present, global hypoxia is present, which is leading to a very severe manifestation, then definitely it is going to be asadhya for the treatment, and it's there when the person is going to die. Achetanam, avedanam, when there is no sensation at all, avedanam, the person cannot experience any kind of Vedana Vishesha in his body, then it is also asadhya. And in the context of Ardita, it is mentioned that Trivarsha Sthita Ardita and Vepana Yukta Ardita is asadhya. So these points have to be considered because Sushruta gives a prerequisite or uh, particular mandate to start with the treatment. If these lakshanas have been manifested, do not start with the treatment, he says, very clearly says. Next slide, please. Coming to the chikitsa of Pakshagata, we have to understand Pakshagata is a stigma, a crippling disease, and it depresses the person very badly. So, when Mada, Murcha, Sannyasa are achieved, there is a possibility that we need to do Daivavapashraya Chikitsa also, which is mentioned very clearly in the chapter Mantra Arishtakotkartana. These are the possibilities. Samjna Prabodhana Chikitsa have to be done, which is again a clinical trial demand is there. To do that, we have been hearing some people, some Vaidyas trying in the ICUs to do Samjna Prabodhana and being successful, but even then, they are not able to clearly say that this is the treatment. Idamittam kind of treatment or management protocol is not there. That is why we have to understand, we have to clearly bifurcate which is whether it is possible by our reach or not. And even Atyayika Chikitsa includes Sramsana and Raktamokshana. So, Sramsana to maybe to dissolve the clot, okay, and Raktamokshana, intracranial operations are being done. So this is the evidence we are getting. So definitely clinical trials and much more studies are required to establish these facts anyways. So until then, unless we have a clearly sophisticated, well equipped hospital, we may not be able, we are not able to, we are not supposed to touch these kind of patients, because that will be another mistake by ourselves. Unless until we are equipped to manage, we should not touch. Chikitsa Prakriya or Chikitsa Parikrama, which has been mentioned in the classics, Swedanam Sneha Sanyuktam Pakshagata Virechanam is the common reference we quote, and also Sushruta's quote. That is Pakshagata Upadrutam, the person affected by Pakshagata, he says some necessary findings in the person. Lana Gatram. I'll explain that. Sarujam Atmavantam Upakaranavantam. Sarujam, he must be able to appreciate what is going on with his body. Then Atmavantam, he should be strong enough, Sattvavan. Upakaranavantam, because Pakshagata treatment does not happen in a day or two. It is a very long process. And he needs attendees also. He should have the attendees, and also he should have good amount of money with him to afford for the treatment, because it needs hospitalization. Then we should go for Sneha Sweda and Mridu Shodhana, then Anuvasana, Niruha, all these procedures. He indicates Shirobasti very particularly because Mastishka is the involvement and treatment to the Shira Pradesha is mandatory. Abhyangarte Anutailam, Salvana Upanaha, Anuvasana by Balataila. And he says it is not being over for just few days or couple of weeks and all. 3 masan, Chaturo masan, 3 months, 4 months, go on doing the treatment until he becomes all right. So it is very clear that we need to continue the treatment and we have to educate the patient also regarding this. Because if they expect the result by just a week, it is not possible. It is pakshagata. We have to educate them. Amlana gatram is a hina gatram, wherein dhatukshaya is not very severe. Bala is still possessed by the person. Then pakshartham achetanam avedanam. Achetana and avedana yukta, wherein he loses all abilities. Then um, we should not take up for the treatment. Yatha kalam is when we, if at all we indicate vamana, if not usually virechana. Virechana anantara anuvasana, or after how many days? Saptaratrat. Then anuvasitasya, then niruhanam, sneha lakshane niruhanam. Then astapitasya puno anuvasanam. This is the protocol we follow in all the yoga basti, kala basti, and karma basti pattern also. So that has to be followed. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next one. So what are all the things we need to do? Patient, if he is conscious, unconscious treatment, we have seen what has to be done. If it is in our reach, then only we have to touch. Then if he is conscious and we can do the treatment. Samprapti vigatana chikitsa, samanya vata vyadhi chikitsa, kevala vata chikitsa, samsarga vata chikitsa, wherein avarana has to be done, shodhana has to be done, mrudu virechana, then vata nulomana, niruha basti, and after all avarana is relieved, then kevala vata or common nirupastambhita vata vyadhi chikitsa has to be followed. Next slide, please. Common Vatavyadi protocol like Kevalam Nirupastambam Adav Snehaihi Upacharet. If it is Kevala Vatajanya, which is Krishna Samasadhya, has to be treated by Snehaihi. And then once Niramata is achieved, then by doing Langana, Pachana, all these karmas, then Avarana is relieved, then definitely we can go with Samanya Vatavyadi Chikitsa or Samsrishta Vatavyadi Chikitsa. Next slide, please. Why we have to do Sneha, Sweda, all of you will be knowing. Still, Nadi, Prastara, Sankara, Sweda, and Susnigdha, till Samyak Snigdha Lakshanas are appeared. Abhyantara or Bahya, both have to be done because it is Vata, wherein Rukshata, Upashoshana of Snayu and Sira is present. So, we have to give Bala to the Upashoshita Dhatu. Dhatu Kshaya is present. We have to give the Bala to the Dhatu. Snehana does that. So, Abhyantara and Bahya Snehana both are advocated in this context. Next slide, please. Avarana Vata Chikitsa, definitely. If Shleshmananugata Vata is present, Kapha Avrata Vata Chikitsa, Pitta Samsarga is present, Pitta Avrata Vata Chikitsa has to be done. And for this, we can take the support of Stauli Chikitsa, Vatagnani Annapanani Shleshmamedoharani Nicha, and also Avrita Vatarakta Chikitsa, which is explained in the last components, last sloka number 156 to 159. This has to be taken into help, and Gomutra, Uggulu, Shilajatu Upayoga have to be done, and all these Mridu Samshodhana has to be done, and by all these avarna has to be relieved, and then we need to proceed for the kevala vata chikitsa or nirama vata chikitsa. So we have to understand there is a possibility of ISD, ILD, myocardial infarction, CVA, ICAD. These are all the possibilities of marga avarana. So medah kafa samsrishte maruta rakte avagadicha, wherein rakta avagadhana is seen, or rakta viscosity is seen, or thrombus manifestation is seen, then we need to treat accordingly. So we have to improve the quality of shonita also. Shonita sanghata has to be relieved, and then we have to treat. So this has to be clearly deciphered and done, because in Shonita Sravajanya Pakshagata, we cannot do this treatment. It is only for ischemic stroke, wherein Meda Kapha Samsrishtata is present, atherosclerosis is present, thrombus manifestation is present, and it is doing ischemia and infarction, and that ischemia has to be relieved by doing this prakriya. Next one. Next slide, please. So, Pitta Avarna, शीत उष्ण व्यत्यास क्रिया, रक्तपित्तहर क्रिया, पित्तग्न मारुत but maruta avirodhi chikitsa has to be done. Kafagna chikitsa, wherein maruta anulomana, vata anulomana is mandatory, and tikshna niruha, if vamana is not possible, it is not mandatory to do in pakshagata. It is not advisable also. Virechana is the treatment. Then Meda Savarana, Prameha Chikitsa and Staulya Chikitsa have to be advocated. Next slide, please. So Sira, Snayu and Kandara are involved in the manifestation. So those have to be given bala. So these are the Upadatus. They have to be given bala by various procedures, Virechana, Pradeha, then Nirohabasti, etc. Then next. Why Virechana? Every time from our BAMS time, we will be thinking about why Virechana. And most of you would have thought also and given a clear explanation for yourself. Still, we will go through the points one by one. Specific process for Pitta dosha. Virechana is a specific process for Pitta dosha, and it is a treatment of choice for Pitta dosha. And in Pakshagata, Pitta dosha is involved. It also is next treatment for kapha. After Vamana, the Virechana is the next treatment for eliminating kapha. So in Pakshagata, there is kapha samsarga. So Virechana will be useful for Pitta samsarga, kapha samsarga, and also because Pakshagata is Pakvashaya Janya, and Pakvashaya in for the Pakvashayagata Vikaras, Virechana is the next line of treatment after Basti. So these all points have to be considered, and we can say it is overall or a complete chikitsa also for when we talk about Pakshagata. Then expels vitiated doshas and malas out of the body which are priorly extracted to koshta by snehana and shodana, swedana procedure. So shakat koshtagamana is done by snehana swedana procedures, and then it expels the doshas, purifies the dhatus. If we see the samshodana phalas, dhatu samya kriya is the outcome. So purifies the dhatus and dhatu dushti-janya vikaras. In all the dhatu pradosha-janya vikaras, virechana will be the line of treatment. And it also checks the vikruti of dosha, dhatu and mala together. Sira and kandara snayu are the upadhatu of rakta mamsa. So these Sira, Kandara and Snayu, when the Rakta and Mamsa are cleared, they also get cleared, and they also get Bala from Snehana Swedana procedures. So it will be a treatment for Sira, Kandara and Snayu also. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. We have moved actually. This slide is over. Virechana speciality. Next, yes. Virechana is a treatment for Majja Dhatu. very important point I am highlighting over here. In Pakshagata, Mastulunga Majja is affected. So when we say Mastishka is the Adhisthana or Shiras is the Adhisthana, it is not the cranial bone which is affected. Definitely the intracranial portion which is affected, which is nothing but Mastulunga Majja. Or Talana says it is in a solidified Grita form. It is in a solidified ghee pattern. So this Mastishka Majja or Mastulunga Majja is affected, and Virechana will be a very good treatment for Majja Dhatu. So when Mastishka Majja, Mastulunga Majja is affected, Virechana clears that problem also from Mastulunga Majja. Another point is Yaeva Pittadara Sa Eva Majjadara. It is Mastishka Majja, so Majjadara Kala. Pittadara Kala and Majjadara Kala are similar. So definitely, treatment of choice for Pittadara Kala is Virechana. So definitely, it has to help for Majjadara Kala also. So similarity between Pittadara Kala and Majjadara Kala treats. So Virechana for um, which we use for Pittadara Kala should also treat for Majjadara Kala. So Majjad Mastishka Majja is cleared or becomes Shuddha when Virechana is advocated. Virechana eliminates the Snehamsha in Vit. Purisha Snehamsha. So Vit Sneha is derived from Majjamala. So clearing Majjamala clears the Majja Dhatu when Virechana does the Mala Nirharana. Another point which needs to be highlighted. Next slide, please. Virechana removes Shonita Dushti. Definitely, it is a treatment of choice for Rakta Pradoshaja Vikaras. It relieves Shonita Sangata, and Shonita Sangata, we can say it is hemorrhagic clot, which gets dissolved by faster by Virechana Karma. That is why even in Atyeka Chikitsa, Sramsana is mentioned, which is a type of Virechana. Snehana and Swedana prior to Virechana do Utkleshana of the dosha and thus become easier for the elimination. That's what Shaka to Koshta Gamana happens and it will become easier. Pakshagata is Vatavyadi. Pakvashaya is the Udbhavasthana. So Virechana is the next treatment of choice after Basti for Pakvashaya Samutta Vyadi. Then Virechana is a samanya upakrama for upastambita margavaranajanya vatavyadis. It is a samanya. Snehanam, Swedanam, Samshodanam Mruduhu. And this Samshodana is nothing but Virechana. Sneha Virechana by Eranda Taila, Tilvaka Grata are going to be, or Gandharva Hastadi Taila are going to be beneficial for the management. Next slide. We have to understand that the person, it is not only that we do some of the procedures and give some shamadodishis and treatment is over. It doesn't happen like that because it becomes a social stigma and cripples the person. We need to increase the manobala also. So we have to do satvavajaya chikitsa in the person definitely, and we have to do some rehabilitation therapies also, which is mandatory. So Pathya, as a protocol I have mentioned, so we can go through that. Then important points in the treatment, Mamsa Upayoga is going to be very beneficial. Next slide. Next slide, please. Mamsa Prayoga, Upanaha, Visheshena Taila Prayoga, which is Taila, which is Vatahara, Yavayi and Ushna in nature. So very beneficial for Vatavyadis. Then Lavana Prayoga, Salvana Upanaha has been mentioned by Acharya Sushruta. So Lavana Prayoga is going to be very useful. The care has to be taken that he is not a hypertensive patient, or otherwise Lavana Upayoga does not affect his blood pressure levels. Then Guggulu Prayoga, various kinds of Guggulu Prayoga are advocated. So with that, we will come to end of my presentation. Next slide. Thank you. I would like to say thank you to all those who have joined and who have connected with me. And my special thanks to Principal Dr. Fatima Madam and Dr. Madhav Diggavi sir for giving me an opportunity to share some of my experiences or understanding. That's why I've given the because we cannot play the videos over here in a proper way. That is why I have not given any case study also, though I have some recorded some. My special thanks to all of you who have organized and coordinated with me since beginning, and I am very much open to all suggestions and also questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for such an acknowledging session, ma'am. Now all the questions are welcome. Anybody who is having any doubts can ask their questions. We will unmute them. There are some
I
questions.
hope the session was a little, it took a little lengthy. Lakshagata is like that. And some of the points I have made might have been useful for the PG students, especially and the practitioners. I hope so. Let's go for the Q&A.
Ma'am, there are some questions in the chat session, ma'am. Can I ask?
Yeah, sure, please.
Ma'am, first of all, Avarana is Nidana or Samprapti? Whether Avarana is Nidana or Samprapti for the Pakshabhata, ma'am?
Avarana is Nidana for Vata Prakopa. Vayoho Dhatukshayat Kopo Margasya Avaranena cha. So Avarana cannot be a Samprapti, it is a phenomenon. It is a very basic phenomenon to cause Vata Prakopa. So we have to think from Vata Prakopa level itself. It is not actually the Sthana Samshraya Avastha. It is Avarana which is happening at that site to cause Vata Prakopa. If at all if at all Marga Avarana has led to immediately manifestation, then the Sthana Samshraya has occurred at that very place of Avarana, then the manifestation has been mentioned or happening in Ashukari Vyatis.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, next question
Basically,
is...
Avarana is a phenomenon for many other disorders also, which can happen in various parts of the body. The same Avarana can happen in coronary artery, can happen in cerebral artery, can happen in renal artery also.
Ma'am, next question is how Kevala Vataja
Yes.
and Raktashrava Janma Pakshaghata to be differentiated?
Kevala Vatajanya is, there could be hemorrhage in a very mild extent. Kshaya Hetuka, wherein Dhatukshaya is very severe, and there is, that's why I have compared it to hemorrhagic stroke restricted to one particular place wherein severity is not very much. And also, in case of Kshaya Hetuka, wherein the person's bala is also less, there is huge negative balance, and also there is global hypoxia or generalized hypoxia which is present, and that is why it becomes asadhya for the treatment. So it is kevala vatajanya wherein dhatukshaya is predominant but not very severe. Kshaya hetuka is the one wherein severe dhatukshaya is present, involving majority area of the brain or cerebrum or cerebellum.
Okay, ma'am. The next question is from Dr. Padmavati Patil. How to understand Shuddha Vataja Pakshaghata as hemorrhagic stroke?
Because there is no avarana, dhatukshaya, rakta vimarga gamana has happened, and that is leading to manifestation. So that is why we have to treat. And if we treat for avarana, it is not going to be useful. We have to look for Vata Purana Chikitsa only or Tarpana Chikitsa only, then only it's going to be beneficial.
Okay, ma'am. The next question is from Dr. Pramod Chaudhary. Why Vyanavayu not considered in Samrapti Ghataka?
It is there. It is there. Vyana, Prana and Udana, all the three are there.
Okay. And next question is from Dr. Swarna M. Ballal. Namaste, ma'am. Nerve tissues once died cannot be regenerated, and how can we justify the recovery in the residual hemiplegic conditions?
Sorry?
Ma'am,
Come again?
nerve tissues once died cannot be regenerated, and how can we justify the recovery in the residual hemiplegic conditions?
Nerve tissue once died cannot be
Regenerated.
regenerated. Yes,
Yes,
it
ma'am.
cannot be regenerated.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
cannot be regenerated, definitely. And it will be a permanent damage. It will be a scar. It will remain as a scar. Only thing what we have to do is improve the bala in the mamsa. That's it.
Okay. Ma'am, next question is Nitya Virechana in Pakshaghata patient possible practically?
Yes, possible. Nitya Virechana, it need not be induced up to 7, 8, 10 yogas and all. Nitya Virechana will not do that much. If we are planning for Nitya Virechana, we will plan for only 2, 3, maximum 4 Vegas if his bala is good. It is only that much. So
Okay.
7, 8 or that Shuddhi levels or how many counts, that is not considered over here, which is considered for classical Virechana type, not for Nitya Virechana type.
Okay. Ma'am, next question is in Pakshaghata there is Chestahani, which is Lakshana of Vatakshaya. So whether Pakshaghata can be considered as Vatakshaya Janya or Vriddhi Janya?
Very important question. There is definitely Vata Vriddhi. Definitely Vata Vriddhi is there, and the disease is caused due to Vata Vriddhi only. And all the Vata Vyadhis get bifurcated into Karma Kshayajanya, not Vata Kshayajanya. It is Karma Kshayajanya, Karma Vriddhijanya. It is Karma Kshaya because of derangement of Vata. It is Vata Prakopa. It is not Vata Kshaya actually. Because if we do Snehana Svedana, Vata Kshaya, it will increase the problem, right? But Snehana Svedana is the prime line of treatment in Vata, Pakshagata or any Vata Vyadhi. So it is Karma Kshaya, not Vata Kshaya. There is Vata Vriddhi, definitely. So differentiation of Vata Vyadhi is always Karma Kshaya Janya Vata Vyadhi and Karma Vriddhi Janya, like Kampa Vata. Okay, that is Karma Vriddhi Janya Karma Vriddhi variety of Vata Vyadhi. So here, Vata Vriddhi definitely will be there. It has to undergo Sanchayadi Prakopa. Sanchaya itself is Samhati Rupa Vriddhihi. Samhati Rupa Vriddhihi. So there is Vriddhi of the Vriksha. Prakopa Vilayana Rupa Vriddhihi. Always we have to think that disease will manifest when the dosha Vriddhi is there. Anya dosha Kshaya may be there. Okay, but Vata Vriddhi leads to manifestation of Vata Vyadhi definitely. And there is Karma
क्वेश्चन पूछ
Kshaya
के
because
म्यूट
of
कर दो
Vata Viguna.
क्वेश्चन पूछने के बाद म्यूट कर दो
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, next question is from Dr. Sangeeta. She says, Namaste, ma'am. How exactly Rasaushadhis act in treating Pakshaghata and how to select in which avastha of disease?
Okay. Rasaushadhi is not my adhikara. I am not authoritative. Anyways, in your list, there are big stalwarts talking on how Rasaushadhis will work on Vata Vyadhis. Definitely, they will speak much better than me. I am not adhikrita for talking about Rasaushadhis because my practice also is very much limited about Rasaushadhis. So I use, but very less
Oh, okay, ma'am. Thank
because
you,
of
ma'am.
definitely the quality of the medicine.
Okay, ma'am. Next question is again from Padmavati Patil. Mode of action of Lepa in Pakshaghata.
It gives bala to mamsa. It improves tvak bala. It improves sira snayu.
Next question is from Dr. Sangeeta. Stage-wise, how to adopt Panchakarma treatment, ma'am?
Stage wise.
Yes, ma'am.
It is very clearly mentioned by Sushruta. So Mrudu Samshodhana has to be done. And then Saptaratra Anuvasana, then after Snigdam Jnatva, Niruha, then again Anuvasana and Nasya Karma, definitely indicated for Ardita, and Abhyanga, Upalepadi, Karma.
Okay. Next question is from Dr. Namita S. Ma'am, Salvana Upanaha can be done?
Yes, definitely. Salvana Upanaha is the one wherein Prachura Matra Lavana is used. Saindava Lavana, of course. Along with the Vatahara Dravya and Taila, Lavana, very finely powdered Lavana is also mixed with and then Pradesh, Salvana Upanaha.
Okay, ma'am. Next question is from Dr.
Very useful, very beneficial to reduce Ruja.
Okay, ma'am. Next question is from Dr. Nalina G91. Madam, can you please explain about Paravata Raktapana in Pakshaghata as it is practiced as folklore medicine?
I have not tried it. No, I have not tried it. Paravata Shakrit is a discussion which many people say. And Paravata Raktapana, I have not used, I have not seen also. That's why I cannot say anything about that. That is a folklore practice. I know about, only heard about that. I have not seen. So I am not adhikari for that.
Ma'am, next question is from Dr. Nandini. Can we give basti?
Yes, Anuvasana, Niruha both have been mentioned, and in Pakshagata we plan for Karma Basti, long term.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. This is it, ma'am. No other questions are coming.
Okay.
So, ma'am, now. Okay, ma'am. Thank you for such a wonderful session, ma'am. I think all the participants will be satisfied.
Useful?
Yes, ma'am. It was very useful, ma'am. Ma'am, yes. I request our HOD, Dr. Madhav Diggavi, sir, to say a few words about the session, ma'am.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, ma'am.
Namaskar, sir.
Namaste. It was a very nice session from you, inaugural session, opening batsman. Very well done. I have appreciated various perspectives of understanding Pakshagata from you. Your interpretation has helped our students and our staff to do work in this regard. Today, more than 118 participants participated, including staff, house surgeons, finaliers, and practitioners, NIMA members, NIMA members. They have also taken part in this, and equally, the session as well as question session both were very effective. If many questions are coming, means many active participants have taken their part. And one question was rightly raised, Rasaushadhi Prayoga and Pakshagata. We have a separate session on this. Dr. Gopi Krishna will be talking on this. Only Rasaushadhi Prayoga in that, so that question was asked, no, they will give answer in that in detail. And we are planning to have Dr. M. Ishwareddy Memorial webinar series as a dedication to Dr. M. Ishwareddy sir, who was a stalwart of Kaya Chikitsa and Panchakarma from our Ayurveda Institute, Ballari. That
Of the same school of thought.
yes. I want to have some outcome that every specialist will talk on Pakshagata in different angle. So in coming days, Dr. Mahadevan will also speak. Dr. Oja sir will speak. Dr. Vasudevan Nambudiri sir will speak. So north, east, south, west, everybody will speak on Pakshagata, so that every day there will be new outcome of Pakshagata. This is our motto. All speakers and all delegates will get benefit out of this series. Thank you, madam. Thank you once again. I am thankful to our principal ma'am, Dr. Syed Attar Fatima madam, Dr. Rashikar Gandger, all the PG department staff of Kai Chikitsa wing of Tarnath Government Ayurvedic College, and all PG scholars who have made a big effort to make this dream come true. With this, I am thankful to each and everyone who have supported directly or indirectly to make success of this event. Thank you, madam. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. With this, we can end this. Yes, ma'am. And we expect further sessions like this from you, ma'am, in the near future. Thank
Sure,
you.
sure. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
ma'am. एंड कर रही हूँ
एंड कर